Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing well today. In this video, we're breaking down one of the most important concepts in wealth building: compounding. You hear about it everywhere. You hear that it's powerful, that it's unstoppable, that it's the key to long-term wealth. But almost nobody explains why it feels incredibly slow for years and then suddenly becomes explosive. Today, we're going to break down exactly how compounding works, why most people quit before it rewards them, and why wealth feels slow, until it doesn't. Let's get straight into it. Compounding is not about money, it's about time. Most people think compounding is simply interest building on interest. But the real truth is that compounding is a time-based engine. It rewards people who stay in the game and punishes everyone who quits early. Compounding doesn't care how smart you are. It doesn't care how big your salary is. It doesn't care about your education or background. It only cares about one thing: how long you keep your money working. In the beginning, compounding feels useless. You invest for a whole year and your money barely moves. You save consistently, but the growth is microscopic. It's slow by design. The early phase is like planting a seed. You don't see anything happening on the surface, but underground, the roots are forming. Compounding works the same way. It's building a foundation you can't see yet. The slow phase, the years that test your patience. The hardest part of compounding is the first few years, or even the first decade. The reason is simple: your base is small. A 10% return on a small amount doesn't look impressive. A 20% return on a small amount still looks insignificant. This is why people get discouraged. They assume the system is broken. They assume their effort isn't working. They assume wealth is supposed to grow quickly. And that's where they fail. The slow phase is actually the most important part. It trains you to be consistent. It trains you to be disciplined. It trains you to stop chasing shortcuts. This phase separates the people who become wealthy from the people who remain frustrated. Compounding is slow because it needs time to build the foundation that allows it to explode later. If you quit during the slow phase, you never access the true potential. The invisible growth you can't see. One of the biggest reasons compounding feels slow is because the growth is invisible for a long time. When you invest $1,000 and earn $80 or $100 in a year, it doesn't feel meaningful. But something important is happening: you're stacking layers. Each small gain becomes the foundation for the next gain. And that gain becomes the foundation for the next. Over time, the growth begins to stack on itself like layers of bricks. The structure is being built quietly, and every year adds more weight. It doesn't look dramatic, but it's happening underneath the surface. This is the part where most people lose because they want visible results. They want proof. They want fast progress. But compounding doesn't reward impatience. It rewards the people who trust the process long before it becomes obvious. The explosion phase, when time takes over. At some point, something changes. The money you invested years ago grows large enough that the returns start compounding in bigger chunks. This is the moment where compounding stops feeling slow and starts feeling powerful. Your annual return suddenly becomes larger than your yearly contribution. Your money begins to work harder than you do. Your growth starts to accelerate instead of crawl. This phase is where wealth feels effortless. You're not grinding anymore, your money is doing the heavy lifting. What once took you 10 years to build might now take just 1 year. This is the part that looks like overnight success, even though it was years of slow growth underneath. This is the phase most people never reach. Not because they're incapable, but because they quit before the explosion. Why wealth feels slow until it doesn't? Wealth feels slow in the beginning because your base is too small to make the growth noticeable. You're compounding pennies. The momentum isn't strong enough yet. But at a certain point, the base becomes large enough that even a small percentage creates significant growth. This is why a millionaire can grow wealth faster than someone with $1,000, even at the same percentage. Compounding works faster with a bigger base. But here's the key: everyone starts small. Everyone starts in the slow phase. Everyone starts with trivial growth. Those who stay consistent eventually reach the point where compounding becomes their greatest advantage. Wealth feels slow, until it doesn't. And when it speeds up, it feels unreal. Consistency beats high returns. Most beginners obsess over finding the highest returns. They chase risky investments. They look for shortcuts. They try to double their money quickly. But wealthy people think differently. They know that a consistent, average return repeated for decades is far more powerful than a huge return that happens once in a while. An 8% return repeated for 30 years beats a 30% return that only happens once and disappears. Compounding is not about hitting a home run. It's about hitting small, steady singles over a long period of time. The real superpower isn't a high return, it's reliability. How to make compounding work for you? To unlock the full power of compounding, you need 3 simple things. 1. Time. Start early. The earlier you start, the more compounding multiplies your wealth. Time is the fuel that makes the engine run. 2. Consistency. Add to your investments regularly. Weekly, monthly, yearly, just never stop. Every contribution strengthens the foundation. 3. Discipline. Do not interrupt the process. Do not panic sell. Do not withdraw for unnecessary reasons. Every interruption resets compounding's momentum. The people who let compounding run for decades are the ones who end up wealthy, even if they didn't start with much. The shift wealthy people understand something most people ignore: compounding only works for those who respect time. They don't rush it. They don't doubt it. They don't interrupt it. They understand that the slow phase is unavoidable, and they embrace it. Because they know the slow phase is the price you pay for the explosion later. That is why wealthy people always say, the first $100,000 is the hardest, because after that, compounding becomes a force of its own. Thank you for watching, and I appreciate you for being here today. If you found this video helpful and you want more content that breaks down money, wealth, and long-term financial strategy in a clear and simple way, make sure you subscribe and stay tuned. I wish you patience, clarity, and discipline on your journey. I'll see you in the next video. Take care and keep moving forward.